Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Now, I am not afraid to admit that there are some things I am still working on getting better at in the kitchen, and one of those things is making a really great dal puri. Fortunately, I have a mom who knows how to cook everything from A to Z, so today we're both going to be learning along with my mom as she walks us through how to make a really delicious dal puri. Let's get to the recipe. The first step I've done here is add 2 cups of split peas to my pot of boiling water. I'm going to cook them until they are the perfect texture. You don't want them to be too soft or too much on the hard side, so cooking them for about 25 minutes will do the trick. Now that my dal is finished, I've gone ahead and strained it from my pot. I'm going to allow it to cool before putting it in my food processor. You don't want to start making your dal puri filling until your split peas have cooled down. Once it's cooled, I'm going to add 2 chopped chili peppers and 8 large cloves of garlic to my split peas. Then I'm going to add it to my food processor and allow it to blend for about 3 minutes until it's reached this consistency and texture. At this point, I've transferred my blended up split peas to a bowl and I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of MSG, which is optional, 1 teaspoon of salt, and 1 teaspoon of jeera. I'm going to mix in all of those ingredients and then set it aside while I move on to preparing the dough for my dal puri. I've added 2 cups of flour, a quarter of a teaspoon of baking powder, and 1 teaspoon of margarine to a bowl. As always, my ingredients and measurements are in the description box below. I'm now going to knead all of those ingredients together using my hands while simultaneously adding some water in as needed, little by little. If you find that the dough is sticking to your hand, then you can add a little bit of oil to your hand to help with this. You're going to knead it until it looks smooth and round like mine does here. Now, on to actually creating our dal puri. The first thing you're going to do is part your pieces of dough to make it easier to handle. Next step is to dip it in some flour and begin using your fingertips to spread your dal puri out in a rounded shape. Then you're going to bring your fingers inwards to hold onto your dal puri like my mom is doing here, and brush the middle with some oil, sprinkle it with some flour, and fill the middle of your dough with a split pea filling. After this, you're going to begin pulling the outside pieces of your dough inwards and clamp it at the top to close it. Then flatten it and dip it in some flour. So again, first you're going to take one of your pieces of dough and dip it in some flour. Second, you're going to use your fingertips like my mom is doing here to round out the piece of dough. Third, you're going to bring your fingers inwards to hold onto the dough properly and also make a well in the middle of the dough. Fourth, you're going to oil the middle and sprinkle some flour. Fifth, you're going to fill that well with your dal puri filling. And sixth, you're going to begin pulling the outside pieces of your dough inwards to close your dal puri. And then clamp it shut. Flatten it and dip it in some flour. Now that that's all done, we can begin to cook our dal puri.
Just flip it around so it gets bigger, and then you start to roll it. It doesn't matter if you don't have it wrong or if it's uneven, it doesn't matter. The idea is that as long as you get it all the corners so that it's not thick and it can cook evenly. So this is ready. Onto the pan.
So I've heated my tawa with some oil, and once it's hot, my mom transferred the dal puri over to the tawa. Once bubbles start to form on top of your dal puri, you're going to flip it over and oil it. You're going to allow it to cook on that side for a couple of seconds, and then you're going to flip it over again and oil it on the other side. My mom then flips it over one last time, allowing it to cook for about 40 seconds before taking it off the tawa. Unlike roti, you do not need to clap your dal puri. All you need to do is lay it aside in a plate. Alright guys, that brings me to the end of my video. I really value these times with my mom, being able to learn from her, and hopefully if you have someone in your life you are able to learn cooking from, you take the opportunity to do just that. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, give it a thumbs up. Hit that post notification bell, share, subscribe, and leave all of your comments or questions down below. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.